do startups use data to help their companies and to help themselves go through growing pains and success?
Sure. So to be honest, I think startups use data pretty poorly today, just because there's a lot of different reasons, but primarily we have so many startups coming out today and not enough necessarily people that understand how they can use the data to actually make better decisions and be more successful.
Do you have any sort of examples out there that you think are companies, specifically startups, that actually use data or have a product that helps other businesses use data aside from yours?
Sure. I think I actually think that the best way to understand a lot of this stuff is by trying to look up some of that content I was mentioning earlier on how people have described how they're doing metrics. And if you notice, mostly the people that are talking about that are startups that don't necessarily have the money to pay for, not necessarily my solution, it's pretty inexpensive, but some of the higher end solutions on the market that have existed and the kind of things that they were doing themselves to analyze and track data. Because there's been so much content about that, you basically have no excuse not to use data to your advantage today.
Do you think that software as a service type products have helped that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super bullish on software as a service. I don't think I think that's the only way to actually run a company today would be use as many software as a service products as you can. One of the reasons is just because it's easy to turn them on and off, and another reason is it's usually the implementation and life cycle of even buying the product and all that is like you can buy it in seconds.
What do you think about products that used to be just software, like QuickBooks and Intuit, now having software as a service online?
I don't know about those specific examples, but generally, if they don't rethink their software for online, they end up doing a poor job of bringing that software online.
Are you glad that you started online and not as a desktop software?
I think there's pros and cons, because a lot of times with desktop software, you build it and hopefully it's good, or you test it and it's good, and then the next version you can actually charge more money for. While in our case, it's an expectation of software as a service for you to always improve the software. So I'd say yes, because I can always improve it and make it better, but no, because that does affect my business model. And that changes the way people, the demands people have on your business.
Very interesting. And now, so this show is not just about tech startups, but it's also about just startups and entrepreneurship in general. Did you always know that it was in your blood to start companies? Since
I was about 5 years old, my dad told me don't work for anyone. And literally it was about 5 years old, and he's a physician, and that's pretty weird for a doctor to tell his son from 5 years old, don't work for anyone. So my answer is I don't know any better.
Interesting. So right on, you just knew that this is what you were going to do.
That's what my dad said to do, and I listened to him.
Well then, as a successful startup entrepreneur, founder, and successful business, what would you give as a one tip or advice to other startups?
Don't be scared. Just do it. Whatever it is, just do it, and do it now.